Oh, my new favorite pastime. Trying not to get rosé on my white couch. This should go great. Oh, honey, I got thoughts. Welcome to Wine Wednesday, where we don't believe in complaining. But if you're gonna whine, pour me some. That joke's not getting old anytime soon. I'm very excited that the first episode went so well, even though it's a little bit echoey in here. Y'all didn't seem to care, and you're really twisting my arm to sit on my couch and talk to you with a glass of wine. I mean, really. This is hard. Today I'm having a glass of rosé again because I am so basic. This time it is Gary Vaynerchuk's venture, Empathy Wines. I'm a huge fan of this rosé. I think he did incredible work on his first wine company, and I'm actually looking forward to trying his other ones. He's got a couple more coming out, white and red, but you know, it's got to be the season. Those wine folk would know. I just like getting wine in the mail. But you know, I hate to say it, I'm getting a little bit older and drinking alcohol isn't the same as it used to be. And that is why I'm so grateful for today's sponsor of Wine Wednesday, and that is Morning Recovery. Not just drinking this, I'm also drinking this. Actually, I was supposed to drink this first. We should do that before I get a little too deep here. It is very counterproductive and not good for time management to be, let's put it lightly, hungover. What Morning Recovery does is help you combat all of those crappy symptoms like nausea, headache, fatigue, lack of clarity, and all that stuff the day after a lovely evening of rosé. I know what you're thinking. That's ridiculous. Which is why I had to try it myself, because it's called Morning Recovery. It's basically a recipe for what I need when I'm not living my best life, because you know how I feel about mornings. I was celebrating my friend's birthday, and I gave everybody morning recoveries that night because I wanted to see what they thought. I had a healthy amount of this that night. Oh, because it's so delicious. By drinking a little bit before, drinking a little bit in between, and then finishing my night with a little shot of this, the next morning I felt really good. And these days I'm getting very easily hungover, so I was extremely impressed, especially since I had to get in the car for a 3-hour drive with mom. You don't want to be less than fresh in that moment. Do yourself a favor so you can indulge every once in a while. Grab some Morning Recovery, pop it in the fridge, and then just grab one and throw it in your handbag when it's time to go out. You're gonna thank me later. You can get 20% off with my code AmyTV with the link in the description. So I wanted to sit down and have this conversation because at the time of filming this video, there is a lot of drama on YouTube. It's so funny because every time new drama happens, I'm like, oh my God, do we do this? It particularly gets crazy because there are so many people on this platform who have an audience of millions, so something really oddly dumb and silly can go to the national media. Don't they have better things to do? That's a different topic. The thing that happens when it goes, oh, excuse me, pillow. I was here first. The thing that happens when it goes to the national media is this one word just keeps popping up and it just bothers me. Influencer. I don't know how you feel about this, but I'm taking this opportunity to finally express my feelings about this word out loud. I'm personally not a fan. I know there are a lot of people in the world right now who are aspiring to be such a thing, to be an influencer. So I just want to share a couple of my thoughts on this and how somebody who is aspiring to something like this can think a little bit differently and go after the life that they want, but in a way that's actually going to pan out for them. Before we can get into it, you know what time it is. I have to give a little bit of Twitter gratitude, and today I'm shining a light on Ash and Auburn. Thank you so much for watching these videos. I acknowledge you for your time and your attention and for your retweet. That was pretty sweet of you. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Schmatastic. And the next time you see my video, if you're following me and you retweet that, then you could potentially be the next person featured here on Twitter Gratitude. Okay, let's get back on topic here. Influencer. I guess it's the new celebrity, right? I want to be an influencer. I want to be a celebrity. I guess you can technically get paid for both. You can be somebody who is paid because they are an influencer, and you can be somebody who is paid because they are a celebrity. But I have a problem when someone just gets blanket labeled an influencer or even a celebrity because they had to do a lot of other stuff, like a lot of other hard work at something to get that label, which is basically a byproduct of something else. Even if someone came at it with the wrong goal in mind, and that was to be an influencer, They still have to do something else really well in order for them to be a success at that. And no matter what the actual logistics of that thing is, there is one goal that you have to achieve in order for influencer to be a perk of everything else. The thing you have to achieve, the goal that has to be met, is trust of people. And if you're familiar with trust, it's probably something you don't just dole out, right? You don't just get to have someone's trust. You have to earn it. You have to do a lot to earn it. This thought came up additionally because I was introducing myself to someone this weekend, and it's already a little bit challenging sometimes to explain what I do. And I usually look at somebody and who they are to try to customize the message for them so that it can make the most sense and can be the most beneficial to them. Because I do a lot of things that can benefit a lot of different types of people, but I believe that a message needs to be customized for an individual audience. I knew that I could just say, I'm an influencer, and this person would have known exactly what I do. Maybe not known exactly which platform and what my forte was, but they would pretty much have it figured out. But I absolutely didn't say that because I'm not an influencer, in my opinion, and I would never call myself that in a million years. I've actually had to go to brands that I was working with on campaigns and say, you need to remove this word influencer from these promotional graphics. Because you're basically saying, here you go, here's a photo with your face on it and our name, and we're calling you one of our influencers. So you're basically saying, I am to go and communicate to people who follow me on social media that I am an influencer. When I'm supposedly influencing them, that is like me walking up to my best friend and introducing myself to her as her most trusted non-family member. Hi, since I am your most trusted non-family member, you should attend my birthday party. I had to do a lot of things to become good enough to be someone's best friend. So, to say that I am her most trusted non-family member is not only a massive assumption, but it is also a result of that hard work. As a self-respecting woman who has been working her tail off since she was 18 years old, I refuse to be called that. I am a lot of things, but I am not an influencer. I host a web show about how to go after the life you want. I host a podcast about people who have done the same. I'm the author of a book that helps you use tools that can help you go after your passion. I'm a public speaker who teaches on stages all over the world for people who want to make their grand plans happen. And most importantly, I want to tell everyone everything I know because I wish I would have had that at an earlier age in my life, and I feel that it gives me a lot of purpose in doing so, no matter what the media. A beautiful luxury of all of those things and actually doing them consistently is what allows people to trust me. P.S. You are watching this in part potentially because you trust me, especially if you know me, you know my dog's name, you know my husband's name, you know where I live, you know about my life because you have been following, because you trust what I have to say. I do not take that for granted. I know how hard I worked for that, but I also appreciate it more than you could ever imagine. And I refuse to let someone just slap the word influencer to describe our relationship on my bio. If you are interested in becoming an influencer, if that motivates you, if there's something about what you have seen that gets you excited, I'm not asking you to change your mind. I'm asking you to think differently about what the end goal is. Actually wrap your mind right now around what it means to be influential. Who are you talking to? What do they stand for? How are you going to represent them? And better yet, how are you going to help them? When you get into this line of work with the wrong reasons, one of two things will happen. One, it's not going to work out at all. Just plain and simple. Could be because you gave up too soon. Also could be because you have no idea who you're talking to because you're only thinking about yourself. And number two is going to be very hard to hear, and it could be a little controversial. If you are successful at this, even getting into it for the wrong reasons, you will have, at minimum, one stint of mental health issues. And that is because you are leaving your self-worth up to a lot of other people. And a lot of other people change their minds all the time. And they could be on your side one day and they could be against you the next day. And if you don't truly understand who you are, what you do, and what you stand for, and how you help people, that will tear you down. I feel really grateful that I am so focused on others in the sense that I want to help, but also in balance focused on myself to make sure I can give what I've promised, that I don't think I've experienced a level of mental illness that we're seeing a lot happening in influencership. And that's because sometimes you reach your goals and then you have to have new ones. And then you go get those other ones and you keep growing and you keep growing. And then you realize you were setting all the wrong goals because they don't actually mean anything to you. They looked good to the rest of the world. And that is where it all happens. That's where it goes down, and that's where it turns into a nightmare. It's a ladder on a building you never even meant to climb. So instead of trying to become an influencer, figure out what it means for you to be your best self and how you are a resource to others. Your whole life doesn't revolve around other people, but other people play a huge role, and you get to decide what that role is. If that role is an audience of yourself, make sure that you can wake up every day, look yourself in the mirror, and believe the words that are coming out of your mouth. This might be a really interestingly controversial topic, so I really want to hear from you. How do you feel about the word influencer? Or even better yet, how would you describe me to somebody that you know? Share that in the comments below. While I finish this, I am thankful for Morning Recovery for sponsoring this episode of Amy TV and helping me out with my morning tomorrow. The details for 20% off your first order are in the description below. That's all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it as always. Make sure you subscribe for good vibes, kiss the ones you love, and go after the life you want. Cheers. How was the lighting? I really struggled today. By the way, I'm sorry if this jacket is really loud. It's very cute though, isn't it? That's all for today, socials. Thank you so much. Socials.